All right, we are good to go.
Thank you.
We're live.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Everyone is in attendance today, physically, which is marvelous. Pledge of allegiance, the flag is right over there behind us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mission statement, and this will possibly be the last time this mission statement will be read. The Viroqua School District provides a quality education for all students that inspires continuous learning, positive relationships, curiosity, and compassion in an environment that welcomes diversity while developing respectful and responsible citizens. Committee reports. Compensation, Kim?
Compensation committee met tonight. We spent the majority of the meeting in closed session to discuss compensation offered to individual employees holding the positions that were referenced and to discuss strategy regarding base wage negotiations with the VEA, and no action was taken.
Thank you. Welcome visitors. Anyone sign up?
No.
No. All right. Thank you. Consent agenda, approval of the agenda, proof of public notice, July meeting minutes, voucher summary 1 in the amount of $960,526.02. Retirements and resignations, there are none. Appointments, there are none. The 23-24 academic and career plan, the 23 and 24 safety plan, and crisis intervention.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? The only thing I can say is I like the thoroughness and the data that was presented on the 24 academic and career plan, as well as the safety plan and crisis intervention. I appreciated looking through all of the details of both of those. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is voucher summary 2.
I move to approve voucher summary 2 in the amount of $248,048.98.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. Information discussion donations over $250. Total amount $4,060.25. Viroqua Basketball Club $2,060.25 from Zip Crank Basketball Height Adjuster, or I should say for a Zip Crank Basketball Height Adjuster, and Viroqua FFA alumni $2,000 to the FFA. And we always want to thank our community is so generous in so many ways, and the Booster Club is working very, very hard, as well as the FFA. Work so hard to raise money to provide opportunities for our students. So thank you for that. 23-24 preliminary budget, Mike?
So in the next couple of weeks, you'll see in the broadcast, so the budget publication that was approved last meeting. That will be presented at the annual meeting. That will be different than the budget that we ultimately approved at the for the October certification. But it's where we will have the budget hearing. Still a lot of moving pieces going forward, as we discussed. We still have not settled on our wages for our staff for the next year. School is starting early, but yeah, this process is taking longer than any of us have wanted. That's the biggest portion that I guess is probably still hanging out there as far as budget. Things like debt service. The other areas of the budget are all locked and we're ready to move forward. So
Thank you.
Budget
Questions?
Monday.
annual meeting is third Monday, so that would be the Monday following. 18th.
I love how we make calendars around the fair. I love that. I like deer hunting. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
I can make a recommendation to not muddle with that too much.
I won't.
Probably. Be
Yeah, I won't.
At this point in time.
Yep.
Take the 18th. 18th.
Got it.
Any discussion, any questions for Mike? The only thing I can say is it was I know it's been presented that the dollars that we received through K-12 is more than in the past, but it has come up considerably short in what it costs to give a high quality education and to serve our communities. So thank you for the work that you're doing to try to make it all fit together. District Administrator, back to school.
Oh, my goodness, we have had quite a couple of weeks here. Back to school night was held last Thursday, and it was from 4 to 6 p.m., which was a change from our typical 5 to 7. In conjunction with that, we made some changes this year. So one of them was to have our school pictures taken for our students during that back to school night. And attendance was outstanding in general. There were a lot of people. The line was also very long. And so we acknowledge that. And there are things that we have to work out with our photographers and make sure that we are better prepared when we do this again moving forward. We definitely see the benefit in it. So do a lot of the parents. And so having the conversation while it was a long line, they got to control how their kids' hair looked and what shirts they were wearing and all of the in between. And so there was some, and there was also, I think, some that does provide some relief to our teachers, specifically in the elementary. When you get a kid at 8 a.m, you go to take pictures at 1 p.m. That child looks different by 1 p.m. And so we will continue to look at the ways to improve those lines and make it more efficient. But overall, I think it was a resounding success. Following that 4 to 6 timeframe was at 6 o'clock was our first ever tailgate party prior to our first home football game. I'm very happy to report we had 450 people that came through that tailgate. Music was going. A lot of people decided to sit on the side hill and kind of watch the football warm-ups. And that I think really led to, part of the August 17th, Thursday night football game being absolutely packed. So there were people standing room only on the bleacher sections, and then a lot of people wrapped all around the hill. And so it was an outstanding turnout, and obviously the result of that game was unbelievable. So for those of you that were not there, we did have a 48-6 win over Dodgeville, which is really set a really positive tone for the school year, and something where we've struggled to over the last few years, and so it was awesome to see our kids have such success. Back to school night, I think overall, while I was exhausted Thursday night when I got home, it was an outstanding day in general. PBS Kids Ed Camp was held on August 12th here in this space that we are right now. So this is done through PBS Kids Wisconsin, out of PBS Wisconsin, and they come in and essentially provide a professional development day for our early childhood educators and our early elementary educators. And it is in the Ed Camp style, which means that essentially you come to the space together and create what the day's professional development is going to look like together. And so they decided once they got here exactly what they were going to discuss in their groups, and really had a very productive day. They had every cutout of every PBS Kids character that you can imagine. There were about 45 teachers or educators here from all over the region. So I don't know how many total districts were represented. Krista, do you know? It was a lot, and it was a really, really good day. They started the day with some co-op scones, had some Wonder State coffee, and then finished with cheese corner for lunch. And so whenever you can put that on a flyer, I think that automatically makes it sell more. When you can put those kind of that quality of food out there for something like that. So we really appreciate PBS Kids picking us and selecting us for that opportunity. And I really want to just give a thank you to Krista, Pat, and all of the staff that were helping behind the scenes that day here to make that a success for everybody. So thank you. New professional staff orientation. We also made some changes to that, and that was based on feedback that we've been receiving over the past couple of years. So for those of you that don't know, historically, that is a one-day event where trying to be nice, we throw everything we can at them and hope something sticks. It was not a productive day for us. It was not a productive day for our new staff. And essentially it was, here's your computer, here's how you get into all this tech. Here's a mentor, go and figure this thing out. And so we knew we had to go back to the drawing board. And so we did a variety of changes. One, we switched it to a 2-day format to make sure that we had time to get to the logistics that we had to get to. But then spent a lot more time on that team building and community building. I think the overwhelming result was a group that is incredibly excited to be here, and a mentor group that is incredibly excited to welcome them to our district. It was a great 2 days. Our new teachers couldn't stop smiling. Our admin couldn't stop smiling. It was an outstanding 2-day event. Facilities planning, and then today, well, we'll go into this with our orientation right along with that. Then today we have our in-service, back to school in-service. And so it was a really cool day to be a part of, as we welcome back as our keynote today, our 1998 graduate, Dr. Garth Larson. And so it was really, really cool to have Lane Hansen introduce him. Lane was his tennis coach. That helped Garth go to state 4 times in tennis over his 4 years of high school. And that's an incredible feat, and is by far our most accomplished tennis player in school history. So he may or may not have driven down there to see the new tennis courts before he came up to even meet me this morning. And so it was a great day of learning. And he also met with our collab teams after that, and then administrators after that, to really debrief not only about the day, but then planning into the future, and really using our strategic plan to make sure that we're aligned and all shooting at the same target. And that's really what we want to be doing. So for those of you that were a part of that, and I'm gonna skip one, the strategic planning process is essentially done. We've got a couple of graphics we want to share with the strategic planning team and get some consensus on before we bring that to the board next month. And so that will be a presentation by some staff members and some community members to you guys about the work and essentially the process that was done in order to get here, which is a new mission statement, as Angie alluded to, a new vision statement, and 6 new pillars that we can focus on and really make sure that we are laser focused on what we need to be focused on over the next 5 years. And so it was an incredible process. Dennis Pauly led us through that, and it was awesome to be a part of, and really excited to move forward with that. Facilities planning update. My goodness, we are there. We go to bid here in a couple of weeks, maybe not even that, the first week in September. And that will be a 30-day bidding period for all of the local and beyond contractors to put in their bids for our projects. And so Myron and HSR are buttoning up a few things on those final plans, but essentially we are there. And we have very few decisions. At this point, the next decisions will be looking at bids, and when bid day comes in, and comparing those local bids to some of those larger companies, and really making sure we're making the right decisions for our district and moving forward, which is incredible. So we are on pace right now. Budget wise, we are a little bit, and this is all projections because we don't have the bids in yet. Slightly over where we want to be. And that's mainly due to the firewall at the elementary for the new commons area. So if you remember, the conversation we had with HSR was we didn't know how much that was going to cost. And so what that is essentially they were going to put a firewall all around the current cafetorium and essentially to do two sets of doors. That was the original plan. And that was not possible to be because of fire escapes and exits, and just they couldn't make that work. And so the only viable solution that we have right now, and I don't remember the technical term, but we don't need to get too technical anyway, but they are essentially pieces that are up into the ceiling that are fire rated, for lack of a better term, curtains that would come down that have the same fire rating as a firewall. And so it gives you the same amount of time. But it does not obstruct your view during the day, which obviously for our safety reasons, we do not want that view obstructed, coming right into the commons right off of the office area. And so that is where we're at. We're still within our margin of error, and we're still carrying a high contingency going into the bidding process. And so we're hopeful that that'll come in. We have heard from local schools that those numbers have been coming in favorable for districts. So we hope that trend continues here over the next month. On pace to begin in earnest in January and finish next December.
Any questions?
I just threw a lot at you there. Okay, thank you.
Administrative reports, back to school, and I don't know the order in which you all would like to speak. Want to start with Pat, since you're in my visual here?
Then I take all of the good stuff.
Exactly, and leave nothing for Jason at the end.
Back to school, which is kind of crazy. Seems like we just teachers are teaching summer school, tons of projects wrapping up at the elementary school, flooring and air handlers. Custodians working through all that without air conditioning at that building to clean and get things ready. We asked a big ask of our teachers to take Orton Gillingham training, which was awesome. But it's a week out of their summer to learn that, which will be really beneficial with our literacy moving forward. The awesome things Tom talked about with back to school night and our new teacher in service. Now we're ready tomorrow as of now, I think we have 292 elementary students coming in and 146 Montessori students, 77 at the elementary building and 69 in the middle school. So good numbers. Even with a shortened summer, the excitement in the district is amazing. It's awesome to see how excited people are. And even if we had 2 more weeks to get ready, I think there's still teachers over when I came over tonight getting ready as if we've never done this before. But it's awesome. We get the kids here and it just starts. Our biggest change for the year is the traffic flow at the elementary school. Next year it'll be set up a little bit better in the front side of the elementary building, but it had to be done now or in January, and now is as good a time as any to change patterns. But Cody and his staff were amazing to get that. I feel like within days to get signage up and paint roads and get barricades and plan everything out. And it's amazing that even my own families ask me well, what are you doing this summer? As a principal, there aren't any students there or teachers are like, well, we spend about 40 hours working on traffic flow. So probably a week of that, just figuring out, bringing buses over to make sure they fit and 2 can get past each other by the gas pumps, and how is this all going to work? And it's kind of crazy the amount of time we spend on it, but it should work. If we haven't thought of something, we will adjust and make it work.
We'll make it look easy tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that being said, and just to expand on what Pat's saying, we know this is less than ideal. So this is not a end all be all plan. I rolled it out to staff in a very similar way, to our bus drivers again, in a very similar way. We know this is anytime you're changing anytime you're changing parent drop off at an elementary, it's going to be painful. It is going to be painful. We are aware. But really moving forward, we also understand that for this school year, this is less than ideal for everyone involved, for our buses, for our staff, and for our parents. But this is, again, after weighing everything, the least disruptive during the school year. And so that was really what our end goal was.
And then we had Jumpstart a few weeks ago, August 8th through 10th. For incoming 4K students, which is awesome. Chance for them to be in the building without all the other craziness that's going on. Our traditional 4K, we had 29 out of 38 students attend for Deb Clark and Thea Johnson. And this year VAMS participated as well, and they had 9 out of their 16 incoming students work with Miss Kelsey in Children's House. So yeah, that's always exciting to ease those students in and see the ones that don't want to leave mom and dad. And hopefully that'll be even better tomorrow once they experience it once. That is all I have, I believe. But yeah, we're ready to go. Year 4 is going to be awesome. It's gonna be the best year ever.
Do you want to expound on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is my second year, right? But it's not my first year as a principal, and it's not my first building that I've been a principal at. And Kathy Reed and I were sitting on the top of that hill underneath that tree on back to school night, watching that game. And it was like, I can't even put it into words. I'm sitting there and I think all I could say was, this is it. This is it, right? This is why we do what we do. This is everything that we were planning and envisioning. It just blew it out of the water. It was just, it was a very surreal experience, and just one that you want to be a part of, right? Like I can't even put it in any other words. So I wanted to say that to start, I guess, but I mean, that's all intentional, right? That's all by design, and it's not without a whole lot of work that makes things look easy, right? It's all the 40 hours that you put into bus routes that people don't, the bus traffic that people don't realize, right? You know, you walk through these halls and you might not give the amount of appreciation for how good the halls look, for how good the school looks, but our custodians are just in a shortened summer and you wouldn't know it. The building just looks incredible. We had Sue and Becky here until moments before this meeting, still sorting out supplies to make it so that when students come in tomorrow, they would have no idea, right, that we had supplies coming in this afternoon, and they're just going to be set, right? That's so a whole lot of work there. Our collab was coming in throughout this summer, doing a whole lot of work, making sure that we are set for the future, right? We've got our 5-year plan. We're looking at the strategic plan, and everything's in alignment, right? Garth Larson comes in today, and he was talking about the four choices that he wanted our staff to consider this year. And I was just going right down the line, and I'm just like, yep, that. Thank you for saying, yep, right, 100%. I mean, it's this critical mass. It is this momentum, this full speed ahead, and all together, and it's very cool to be a part of. So. And the new professional staff in service, just a cool group of human beings joining our staff too, seamlessly fit in, absolutely seamlessly fit in, and said that they felt welcomed, right? And that's also not by accident. Those things can be very dry, right? They can be a very unwelcoming, cold, overwhelming experience, and that is not what they described, right? So I'm going to take a moment to because I wouldn't do it. Beth and Tom put a lot of work into making sure that went really well. So yeah, I'm going to leave some meat on the bone for Jason here, but yeah, we're ready. We are so ready. Tomorrow morning is just going to be the culmination of a lot of work and excitement. Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm guessing it's too soon for anything with fall activities, or I don't know when yours start.
Yeah.
I mean, fall activities have started a little bit. We've got cross-country
Middle
practices
school.
started. Yep. Volleyball, they're already getting going. As far as like numbers and everything, I don't have that.
Of course.
Yeah, that's also been really cool. And they're up before the sun is. It seems they're here at 7 o'clock in the morning, making sure that their season goes. Right. So it's very cool.
Kathy, I don't know if you wanted to bring in anything to that back to school or
I
not.
I can jump on my parent training right now if you
Okay,
want.
sure.
I mean, it's a couple stances down, but
That's okay.
we brought all of the paras in on August 16th and did a half a day training with them, talking about what special ed is. I only had to hire 3 so far, which was better than 9 last year. We know that our special ed paras are the glue that hold the special ed department together, keeping our kids all moving. We brought in the trauma project from Grant County this year and did an activity called brain architecture game. And it talked about how positive and negative effects help the brain develop. And it was a real hands-on activity to really understand some of the special needs that all of our students have, not just ones with IEPs. So that was really exciting and real fun, energizing morning. The only other thing that I have back to school, and we're going to hit it really fast and really is our special ed department is under review this year for procedural review, and we will be starting that immediately. So fun. We're ready to go.
Knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Should I skip over you, or would you have anything you would like to add,
I've been
Krista?
involved in a little bit of it all. All I can say is we're ready to go, but this shortened timeline really has put a rush on making sure resources are ready and assessments are set up, and just has put a little extra emphasis on getting things done promptly. But we're ready.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what hasn't been stolen. But usually Tom takes like half my stuff.
I really tried, Jason. I really tried.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I apologize for football.
About the only thing I have left for back to school, because other buildings don't do it. We do have 6 foreign exchange students coming in this year. Which is probably maybe the largest by 6 years here.
I don't know.
So, and from a variety of people, and the last one we approved, I met today, so hopefully that means they're all already in with their visas and taken care of in that sense, so. And great families that they're staying with. Fall activities, all fall sports are in full swing at this point. We've mentioned the football, and we have home football again this Friday. Girls tennis started their competition on the 15th. With the triangular against Holman and Boston. And then they went Saturday and competed in lacrosse at a couple of different schools against a lot of larger schools than us. We have, if those of you that remember last year, we had like 8 or 9 seniors on the tennis team. And we're like, okay, are we gonna even build a team this year? This year we have 13 girls that have gone out. But they are young. So it's gonna be it'll be cool to kind of see the growth that goes along with that, and it's just great to see activities for the amount of kids that are out with that. See what else we have. Girls golf's already out. Their home meet is through Westby, but the meet that's at Viroqua Hills is on the 30th. And we want to swing out. You can find a space if you swing out. It's not heavily attended. I usually try to at least poke out and go on about a lot of times since I should be before the school year starts, and even on the 30th this year. If it was a normal year, it would be before the school year starts, but it's one of those things that it's good to poke out. We had it scheduled earlier, but the kids had done 18 holes on back-to-back days. And so we decided not to do the conference match of 9 holes on the 3rd day in a row. So cross country and volleyball, their competition season starts this weekend. Both Saturday, I think they have their first competition, so we haven't totaled numbers yet, but to see where we compare to other years. But it's just great to see kids out. Obviously, a little unique with the weather. I was talking to trainer Matt earlier today, and we're like, you normally have to think too much heat wise. Although we were just talking at the game Friday, I was hanging out by Pete. In the spot Pete's been for the last 4 years. Football games. If you wonder where Pete's at. But like we were talking about Friday night, it was just so gorgeous. Usually that first football night, they're taking extra water breaks and everything because of the heat, and Friday night, it wasn't needed. And I was telling Mike, it was funny, the officials on Thursday night came over to us and they're like, how'd you get so many students out here? School hasn't even started yet. We did have a large representation of student body, including the band. Could also give a lot of the band members props. Today, their last day of summer, they came in at 8 a.m. to perform.
8 a.m., 7:30.
Type of thing, so it's just great to see that type of, we ask and they come through for it.
It was early, but they did a great job.
Any questions? Tom, do you want to speak to the custodians?
Yeah, so summer
Projects.
projects, yeah. So Cody and his crew have been incredibly busy. So if you remember, there were a lot of big projects that were on the docket for this summer that have kind of been pushed off. So the biggest one was the HVAC project at the elementary, which is completed. I will not say without hiccups, but completed. The flooring was the other big project at the elementary that has been a 3-year project that we thought was going to be a 1-year project. And that has been completed. We do have some things we're still working on with that one to finalize the ticket out on that one, but the flooring is done. It's in, it's waxed, it's ready to go. So those were 2 of the largest projects, and they're big. I mean, those are large projects in and of themselves. The other big one that the maintenance team has been able to accomplish is if you go behind our building, as part of our referendum projects, we have to move the greenhouse. The greenhouse has to slide back probably 50 or so feet to the north to get out of the way from the doors that will be put in place when the new building is, the new tech ed addition is on. And so what that meant was there was a brown 2-car garage that was essentially standing in the way. And we went back and forth on what to do with this brown garage. It's a beautiful structure built by students. And we had options of tearing it down, selling it, or finding a better use for it. And we did find that. And that's, it moved over back farther north towards the kitchen. And that's where the kitchen van and extra storage for the kitchen crew will be in that 2-car garage. Now that was an interesting process as we moved it with the help of CNC landscaping, and we made it work. But it was awesome to see some engineering happening live while we were trying to use telephone poles, and then ended up going with some steel beams because telephone poles apparently cannot support a 2-car garage and moving that across the drive or across the parking lot. But it was an awesome piece there. They were able to get then the foundation from the garage out, and we're working very in depth today to get the foundation poured for the new greenhouse, which is not a typical 4-inch slab or anything like that. This is a legitimate foundation for where our greenhouse will sit for many years to come. And so it's a lot of work, but that part has already started because the first thing we need, is to make sure that they have access to that as we get started on that major renovation and addition. Yep.
Is the buses still going to be parking back there like they have been, or?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I just
diagonal
wondered
parking.
with
Yep.
the traffic flow.
Yep, and so, so they will essentially swing in by where the gas tanks are, come through the elementary parking lot and around the U, and then we'll go over there and line up. Just like the middle school, not a lot changed to it at all with the traffic pattern. A little bit of staff parking was adjusted in the back behind the tech ed wing. But as far as parent drop off and bus drop off, there really wasn't a lot to change.
Better because they don't have the traffic.
Yep. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, drop off for parents and pickup for parents will be better because we've cut half of the traffic off that would have gone up to Black Hawk Drive and out on the stop sign. Yes, it will be better.
That's guaranteed.
I tell you what, if we can't get 200 vehicles through a stop sign in the same amount of time it took us to get 400, I don't know. We should be better at that. That should be more efficient, Robert. And so while there are very minimal changes with the middle school, high school, everything changed for the elementary. And so we know that we need to spend some extra time and have some extra support down there tomorrow.
Ben Lawton's shut down.
Ben Lawton is not shut down at this point. As soon as we begin the work on the construction, that will be one of the first things that they will do, is to divert water from the new, all of the new earthwork that they've had to do, parking lots and everything. They will be essentially running, that down right through the middle of that. So the entire Ben Lawton Drive will be torn up and then potentially eventually replaced with gravel, but it will not be a through street as soon as we have to tear it up.
Other questions?
Good questions.
Well, I have a habit of turning illegally every day of my life since they start putting that sign up. I know, illegally every day of my life. And I did it a couple days ago when I was here for a meeting. I did it this morning when I came for a meeting. So I hope the rest of the world is better at adjusting than I am.
It's gonna
Lead by example.
I've gone the wrong way and parked in the wrong places. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Angie, no, this is here. It's like you don't think, you just drive. So good luck tomorrow and the next.
It will be an adjustment for all involved. I guarantee that.
Laurel High School update. I don't know, Vicky, if you have anything to update.
The meeting is moved to tomorrow.
Oh,
So that'll be the first governance meeting of the year. I cannot attend, so if anyone wants to go be in the audience,
all right. Thank
we'll
you.
welcome you.
Thank you. VAMS update, Kim?
Yeah, VAMS met tonight and they reviewed all their committees. Some have new chairs, some do not. They did take action on their protocols, admission protocol policy, and updated that. VAMS is full except for kindergarten and 8th grade. So there are some slots open in kindergarten. If parents out there are interested in having their child go to VAMS, there are some spots in 8th grade, but since it's still new at that level, it's not a big concern. So they're planning some staff development for their governance council, and they'll be having that hopefully in October or November. And otherwise, they're excited about the new year. They're excited about the construction, and things are moving forward.
WASB legislative update, in case anyone wants to, there has been new legislation that school board members can drive a bus now. Just wanted to let you.
There you go, Robert.
No, volunteer, not paid, volunteer to drive bus.
You can volunteer to drive bus. You still have to get a license. Andy.
Yeah.
We're not gonna throw a whole pass to everybody.
I didn't park it appropriately or drive through right.
Yeah,
You'll make a wrong turn.
Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page there.
Yeah, I just thought I should share that in case you didn't know that you can now volunteer as a school board member, and it has been passed.
Yes.
And I'm sure that has something to do with there being a shortage of school bus drivers, but that was a big deal. And anyone that has a license can volunteer to drive a school bus now.
Please let me know if you're interested.
The fall regional 6 meeting is Thursday, October 5th at GT, or you can attend by Zoom Wednesday, November 5th. Please let Beth know if you're able to attend either of those, or even if you can't attend, so that you prepare she can prepare and get that RSVP in. As a board, I believe we all feel the same way of how proud we are of all of the great work that has taken place over the summer last year and moving forward this year. The speaker this morning was absolutely phenomenal, very motivating, spot on. You know, an alumni that has international success in student achievement and assisting collaboration within all people involved in education. And I really appreciated what he had to say today. You know, they asked for volunteers, the school asked for volunteers for a couple of different things. So we had quite a few school board members in attendance this morning to help serve breakfast, but we just show up and everything is just there. And those things don't happen without a bunch of people making sure that everything is there for us. The, you know, making hot dogs and putting hot dogs together and having the tailgate, great idea. Once again, these things don't just happen. You don't just make 500 hot dogs and serve them to 450 people with chips and water and, you know, moving everything all over. Plus the community members and staff that was here for all the conversations that we've had, the meetings that we've had over the summer. Everyone is working late. You know, no one's getting paid extra for that. And I just cannot thank you all enough for everything that you're doing to create the pillars that are going to be followed, the 5-year plan. It just goes on and on and on. The custodians have been working in the summer with no air conditioning. It's been a hot, sunny summer. They got the work done. Pat was working, no air conditioning in that elementary school. I was in there walking in the doors, you would just sweat. And I know he said, oh, you just put a fan in front of you. It was hot in there. And I don't care what anyone says, it was just really hot. And all of those things happen with no one complaining. I haven't heard anyone, I haven't gotten any phone calls. I don't know if anyone else has or not, but everything that all of you are doing is so appreciated. You know, we have curriculum meetings, budget. I mean, it just all on our end seems seamless, knowing that none of it is. There's a lot of work being done. Our teachers today, it was just wonderful to see the excitement and being able to do just a little something to say, you know, thank you. Here's breakfast. Let us do just a tiny something for you because we so appreciate all that you do every day for every child that's in our district. I hope it's rewarding, but none of it happens without us appreciating all of the time and energy that goes into being the wonderful staff that we have in every capacity. Beth has worked so hard and I can't thank her enough. Tom, I mean, the hours these two that I see working in this district are absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know how they do it. It is not a 9-to-5 job. It is not a 5-day-a-week job. They're working 7 days a week. And this summer has just been crazy. I mean, I'm working a 40-hour week as a school board member, which means they're working 100-hour a week. And
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean, I've been here a lot this summer.
We need to
and-
probably go back over those expectations of administrators after this conversation.
But it's
Any other duties as a son?
Oh, is that what it is?
Just that real simple.
really remarkable. I mean, if you're at 9 o'clock at night and it was beautiful summer evenings and, you know, they're here with our community working to create goals and build community and do what's best for kids. So thank you all for everything that you do. You are all so appreciated. With that,
I have one question.
yes, sir.
Early childhood.
Yep.
Quick update, 30 words or less.
We're operating, we're above our initial license number. We're in the sixties for students. Was a little higher during the late summer when our summer school had ended for our school agers that were there. And that number is rising. We're waiting lists in all the 2 classrooms right now. And Sharon's going through the hiring process right now to hire an additional staff member. We do anticipate to be as close to that 108 as soon as we can.
Thanks.
So, yeah,
You went over your 30 words.
I'm sorry. Did you count? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
With that,
Move to
thank
adjourn.
you all and motion to adjourn.
Great appreciation to all of our staff.
Robert and Matt.
And food service. Oh my gosh, they fed kids all summer. I didn't even, I mean, everybody, like from soup to nuts, everybody is
We
working.
have a vote.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done. Okay.
I'm not done.
We officially,
I
I
forgot.
understand, but we have board members back there. I want to make sure that you officially.
So we
get
had a
that.
motion by Robert, a second by Matt, all in favor.
All right.
Now.
Now we get you.